In the identify part of the pivot protocol, we are identifying our thoughts and figuring out how they influence us and if they're helpful or unhelpful for us to pay attention to and give weight to. So a couple key points that I want to mention for you to help you understand this concept of diffusion is that you are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are separate from who you are. Like I've talked about before, our minds are thought machines. They come up new thoughts every second of every single day. Now we have a choice on how we respond to those thoughts. And to help us figure out how to best respond and handle those thoughts, it's important for us to diffuse and separate from the thoughts. Fusion is a scary and tricky trap that we can fall into when we try and work with and notice our thoughts. Fusion is when we become stuck with those thoughts. We fuse to them. The idea is that separation from those thoughts will allow us to move forward and take committed action that is grounded in our values. It's so easy to get stuck in the trap that every thought that we have is a fact, and we have to take that thought seriously, and it is a direct representation of who we are and what we think and how we act. But in reality, that's not true. Thoughts are just ideas that come up. They don't have to mean anything. We have a choice on how our behavior can be impacted by our thoughts and feelings. So that is where diffusion comes into play. If we can separate from those thoughts and give them the weight and strength that they actually have, which is not much because they're just ideas, they don't have to impact us at all. That gives us the power and the strength to overcome those thoughts, unstick from them, diffuse from them, and move on to what's right in front of our face. So what does the process look like in using diffusion? First, we notice what thoughts are coming up, and then we can take that thought and create space from it. We realize that thoughts are just thoughts. It's just this idea that I'm having. And by doing that, we can create separation from them. We can diffuse. Let's take a specific pickleball example. Let's say you smack a drive into the net and you say to yourself, maybe verbally or internally, I'm so bad at pickleball. I'm so bad. How does that thought of being so bad at pickleball influence your performance? Is it helpful for you or is it unhelpful? Now, depending on what that answer is, if it does hurt your performance, then what can we do with that thought? We can use diffusion with that thought. And one way we can do that is mentally taking that thought and changing it a little bit. You can change the perspective to, I'm having the thought that I am bad at pickleball. I'm not actually bad at pickleball. It's just my thought is telling me that. Again, your thoughts are just thoughts. They don't actually represent facts about yourself. So if you determine that that thought is unhelpful, you can mentally take that thought and put it next to you. Put it in your pocket. Put it on your shoulder. Put it on the bench by the pickleball court. This allows us to not give attention or weight to thoughts that don't have to impact us. And then we can move forward with our performance. So notice the thoughts that are coming up in your performance. Figure out if they are helpful or unhelpful for you, and then decide what you want to do with those thoughts, what works for you to be able to move on from those thoughts that are happening in your mind. Through that short process, you'll be able to move on to what actually matters, which is what's going on right in front of you.